welcome to In the Kitchen with Delightful Donna. On today's episode, we're going to be making roasted chicken with veggies on the side. And my twist on this one is I'm using pre-cut veggies to make this weeknight meal very simple. So stay tuned for my recipe. Hi guys, welcome back to In the Kitchen with Delightful Donna. Today we're making some juicy chicken with some grilled vegetables. So let's get started. I have here 4 large chicken breasts, and I rinsed them and just patted them dry with a paper towel so that our topping, I guess you'll call it, will stick to it. So I'm gonna season the bottom. These are upside down, so I'm gonna season the bottom, and this is just salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Like we've talked about before, I always keep this made up on my stove. I'm gonna use about, I don't know, maybe half teaspoon or so. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit on each one. It's not precise measurement, just till they look like they're sufficiently coated. Yeah, that looks good. All right, and I'm also gonna put a little bit of Hungarian paprika, which I absolutely love. Adds a nice color, adds a little bit of a smoky flavor. Not too overpowering of smoke though. I just really like paprika. Okay, so this is the back side of the chicken. So now we're gonna flip it over, and here are our ingredients. No judgment, guys. We are using mayonnaise, and then we're gonna use some breadcrumbs. So here's the mayonnaise. I'm using Italian breadcrumbs and panko breadcrumbs, and I like to mix them together. I think that the Italian breadcrumbs stick a lot nicer to the surface of the chicken, and I like that they seal in the moisture, and then the panko breadcrumbs add a really nice crunch. So we're gonna use both, and maybe 1/4 cup or so, 1/2 cup of each. And we'll just kind of toss those around a little bit. It's not that, to mix them up a little bit. And I'm not gonna put any additional seasoning in this, and you'll see why in a minute. They're a little bit seasoned because they're those Italian breadcrumbs, but they're not super seasoned. I think I want just a little bit more panko. Just eyeball it, guys. Put it however you guys like it for your family for texture. The panko is what adds the crunchy texture. So if you like it a little more crunchy, then add a little bit more of that. If you don't like it as crunchy, you don't like those big pieces on there, then you can use more of the regular Italian breadcrumbs. Okay, so it's mixed up pretty good. All right. So now we're gonna take our pieces of chicken one by one. I'm gonna flip them over. I'm gonna coat them with mayonnaise. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of seasoning on them, and then we're gonna dip them in these breadcrumbs. Before I get started, let me tell you, preheat your oven to 450. Should have told you that in the beginning, sorry about that. Okay, so here we go. Here's our chicken breast, and we're just gonna put some mayonnaise. I'm gonna be kind of liberal with it. Okay, that should be good. You don't want it super thick, but you don't want it too thin. This is really gonna help with your moisture of your chicken as well. We're gonna do the same seasonings that we did on the other side. So we're gonna do a little bit of this garlic powder with salt and pepper. Not too much, just a little bit. And then a little bit of the paprika. As much as you like for your preference, we like it, so I put a little bit more than normal. And then now I'm gonna flip it over into the breadcrumbs, like that. And squishy squish. Just kind of press it down a little bit. When you're breading anything, you always want one like kind of goopy wet hand and one dry hand. So that's why I'm not touching really with my other hand. I'm just gonna scoop these breadcrumbs up on the sides. Maybe. There we go. So that I'm not getting that hand wet. Okay, push it in a little bit more, and boom. Isn't that pretty? And then we'll put that over here on our tray, and then we'll move on to the next one. So we're gonna do this for all 4 chicken breasts, and then we're gonna get some veggies started. All right, so we're just doing up the next one with the spices. And guys, if you don't like mayonnaise, you don't have to use mayonnaise. You could use olive oil. You could use egg wash, which is just an egg beaten with a little bit of milk or water in it. You know, some people may not like mayonnaise or think that it's weird, and that's okay too. If you don't have an aversion to mayonnaise, I encourage you to do it this way because your chicken is gonna be so moist and succulent. It's gonna be really delicious, guys. It will be worth that little bit of mayonnaise, and it really doesn't add that much fat. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, mayonnaise is so fattening. Let's look, let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. A tablespoon is 90 calories, so probably using about a half tablespoon on each one of these chicken breasts. So that doesn't add that much fat. If you used olive oil, it's probably about the same. So don't be afraid. Be adventurous in your cooking. I promise it pays off. All right. And seasonings. And you don't have to spread it as thick as I did either. I mean, if you want to do it a little thinner, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's whatever your preference is, guys. It's, you know, cooking is an art for the person that's doing it. And, you know, not everybody is the same. I can give you guidelines and my family's recipes, but you know what? Tweak it to what your family likes and how you want to do it. That's how recipes are created, right? I mean, I use things from my family that maybe have come down for generations, but I don't do it exactly the same. I don't make things exactly the same as my mother made it, or my mother-in-law made it, or anybody else for that matter. So, you know, put your own spin on things. Use my recipe as a base, somewhere to start, so that, you know, a lot of people are intimidated by the kitchen and don't want to come in and cook because they're scared it's not going to come out good. So start with somebody that, you know, can give you a base, and then build from there. Put your own spin on it, put the flavors that you like. Maybe your family doesn't like garlic, don't use it. Put what you like. Build it to the way your family likes it or the way you like it. Okay, last one. Just goes around. Boom, this one's really big. This one will definitely be for my husband. All right. Okay, and flip. All right, so we got those done. Obviously I was touching poultry, so I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands. Guys, I did use my fine china, as you can see, to make this dipping easier, because now I can just put it in the trash, because anything that touched poultry, we don't wanna save that. So we're gonna put that in the trash and then wash my hands, and I'll be back with the veggies. For the next step, I just wanted to point out to you guys that this is not a full thing of mayonnaise. It was almost empty, so you wouldn't want to normally keep sticking your spatula in there when putting it on raw chicken. Put it in a bowl, but I'm just gonna toss this, so that's why I went ahead and did it that way. All right, so moving on to our veggies. Guys, this is a quick weeknight meal that you could make after work that's gonna be ready in under 30 minutes, honestly. So when I say that, I preface because I bought pre-cut vegetables. Costco sells this little tub of vegetables. It's got onions and peppers and squash. I added a little broccoli. It also has mushrooms. I added a little bit of broccoli, and then I'm gonna add a couple of potatoes, but you don't have to add anything. I mean, it comes just like this, minus the broccoli. So what I'm gonna do, let me grab my oil. I'm using avocado oil because it's very light. I like to put a little bit on the sheet tray. This is about maybe a tablespoon and a half. Then I'm gonna dump all these veggies on there. I'm literally gonna dump them, guys. This is not rocket science, okay? Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be in any certain way. Separate the onions a little bit if you want to. If you don't. Doesn't have to be fancy. They're gonna roast just the same, okay? I'm gonna take my potatoes that I cut up, toss those on, spread those around a little bit, just so it's mixed up. All right, so now, guys, this is so easy. A little bit more oil on top. You put however much you like. I'm probably using about 2 tablespoons, but you do what you want. You absolutely could use olive oil for this. You could use canola oil. You could use melted butter. Whatever your family likes, do it that way. This is what my family likes. I like a lighter oil so that the flavor of the vegetables come through. We're gonna do the same exact seasoning that we did for the chicken. This is my favorite seasoning to use. I call it my everything. I do put it on everything, you guys. So this is garlic powder, salt and pepper. We're gonna use about a teaspoon. So remember that my little guy here, this little spoon is about a half teaspoon. So I'm doing it twice. I might make a little mess on the counter. That's okay, my husband will clean that for me. Just kidding, guys. All right, and then I'm gonna sprinkle a little paprika. This is optional, you don't have to do it. I'm doing it because I put it on the chicken, and I don't know, I'm kind of like weird about that kind of stuff. I like my seasonings to match what I'm cooking. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but that's just me. That's it, guys. Really, that's how simple it is. We're gonna pop these into the oven. Remember, we preheated the oven to 450. We're gonna put them into the oven at for 18 minutes. Sorry about that, for 18 minutes. And then you wanna make sure your vegetables should be done, but you just want them to be soft or whatever texture you like. Your chicken needs to be at 170 degrees. So let's get these in the oven. Here we go. Okay, let me get that chicken. Okay. And I made 4 chicken breasts today, but you obviously could put however many you need for your family. That's what I need for my family, but this recipe you could adjust for however many people you need. You see that we did have some breadcrumbs left over. You probably could have made easily 6 chicken breasts with the amount of breadcrumbs I used. If you need more than that, just up the breadcrumbs. Okay, so it's been about 18 minutes, pretty close. And we're gonna take a little look here and see what's going on inside the oven. Pull out this chicken. This is the biggest one right here, so I'm gonna put my thermometer. You always wanna put your thermometer in the fattest part, and don't go all the way through because you want it to be in the center. We're gonna see. Looks like it's sitting about 140 degrees, so it's not quite ready. So we're gonna let these go for another, let's see, 15 minutes or 18 minutes, got it to 140. And here's what our vegetables look like. They are almost ready. They look delicious. Oh my goodness, they smell so good. I wish they would smell-o-vision. I'm gonna let the chicken go for another 5 minutes. We'll see how that looks after 5 more minutes. My chicken breasts were really, really large. I think for normal size chicken breasts, the 18 minutes probably would have been fine. But since mine are so large, I'm gonna let them go 5 more minutes and then we'll check on them then. Okay, it's been a few more minutes. It's actually been 4 more minutes, but I did open this up a minute before my last time. So it's been 21 minutes total. Whoa, almost lost my rack. Okay, let's try it again. Getting closer, 160. All right, I think we will. Chicken has some carryover time once you take it out, or any meat that you roast has carryover time from when you turn off the heat. So it will rise about 5 degrees once you turn the heat off. So you could get it to 165, and then by the time you're ready to eat it, it will be 170. Right now it's at 160, so I'm just gonna leave it in here for 2 minutes and then I'm gonna take it out. Okay, last time. Whew, you see that? Oh, it's hot. All right, so temperature is good. We're gonna take these out, and then we're gonna get our veggies out. Oh wow, these look so good, you guys. They smell so delicious. Okay, so I'm gonna get this plated up. So in total, 23 minutes for the chicken, because remember, like I said, mine were super, super big. 23 minutes total. And these vegetables, yep, soft, soft. Everything looks good. I could poke right through them, guys. Everything looks good. Alrighty, let's get it plated up. Okay, so we have it all plated up. You see how nice this chicken came out? It's nice and golden brown on the top. When I cut into this, you're gonna see how moist and juicy it is. And then we have a selection of the vegetables that we roasted. And this is so easy, you guys, because we did this all at the same time. I used 2 sheet pans and we did it all at the same time. If you have a small family, you could probably fit your chicken and your veggies all on 1 sheet. But one thing that I did forget to tell you earlier is that I lined the cookie sheets with aluminum foil, and that just makes cleanup easier later. So let's give it a taste. I don't know if you guys can tell, but the juice is like flowing out of this. Do you guys see the juice on the plate? So it's really, really juicy. And that's what you want. That's from that mayonnaise. It's kind of warm. You can see it's very well cooked in the center. I'm really just stalling because I don't want to put this in my mouth. It's really hot. Mmm. You guys can probably hear how crunchy that is. That's really good. Really juicy, tender, very flavorful. I like that crunch on the outside. I'm just gonna try one of these peppers. Perfectly cooked, sweet, nice little bit of seasoning on there. This is a really good quick weeknight meal, you guys. Feed your family nutritious food. There's too much eating fast food every day, so feed your family nutritious at home, very simply. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at cooking_with DD. Like, follow, hit the notification bell, and share our YouTube channel at In the Kitchen with Delightful Donna. Thanks for watching. Bye.